It's time for the Jedi to end. Hey, what's up, you guys? Film fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So Star Wars: The Last Jedi stars Daisy Ridley, Mark Hamill, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, Kelly Marie Tran, and Carrie Fisher. And what this film is basically about, it basically takes place immediately after The Force Awakens. That's really all I want to say in terms of the plot, because I want people to go into this as vague as possible. I really want people to kind of just experience this movie and not knowing what really the movie is about necessarily. So I'll just say that this movie immediately takes place after The Force Awakens. That's all I'm going to say in terms of anything with this plot. So what did I think of Star Wars: The Last Jedi? Now, going into The Last Jedi, obviously, I had a lot of high expectations. This was my most anticipated movie of the entire year. I'm a ginormous Star Wars fan, obviously. If you guys have seen my videos, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is, to me, the greatest thing to ever grace us. Honestly, it's true. It really is. It's such an amazing thing. It really is. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is something that means a lot to me. I've enjoyed it ever since I was a little kid, and I still enjoy it to this day. So, obviously, going into this and from loving The Force Awakens so much, it was such a great return to form for Star Wars. I was excited to see what they were going to do with the second installment of this, and obviously, hype was ensuing with me, and I was excited to see this movie. Like, I wanted this movie to come so badly, and now here we are. It's finally here, and I'm talking about it. So, yeah. And this movie is pretty phenomenal, if you ask me. I literally left the theater speechless. Like, honest to God, I really did. I left the theater speechless. I was like, I cannot believe what I just witnessed. And I meant that in the best way possible, because this movie, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this movie is something truly special. This movie is a masterpiece. This is the best one we have had since Empire. Yes, I'm going that far, and I don't care what anybody says. This movie, literally, just, I couldn't believe it. Like, I'm sitting here watching this movie, I'm like, this is amazing. This is Star Wars. This is why I love movies. Like, literally, this movie shows me why I love film and why I love Star Wars. This movie is incredible. Everything about this film is fantastic. It's literally a perfect movie to me. It is such an incredible movie. I loved every second of this film. I didn't want it to end. Every minute of this movie was fantastic. I loved it. Like, I'm seriously, truly speechless. I'm still speechless even thinking about it. Honestly, just sitting here and talking about this movie, I'm still speechless because I cannot believe I witnessed that. I was there for this. I saw it in the theater and I witnessed it. I couldn't believe it. Seriously, this movie is something truly special. Honestly. I thought The Force Awakens was something truly special. No, so somehow this is even more special to me. I don't know how, but it is. Like, seriously, it is so amazing. I loved everything about this movie. Without me just wasting time, let's just get into why I love this movie so much. Let's go right into it. First, with the positives, we have, first, the acting. The acting is phenomenal in this movie. Daisy Ridley, as of course Rey, I love her in this movie. She is fantastic. I love what Daisy Ridley really brings to this character in this film. She's really great. She brings a lot of energy and a lot of emotion to a character, and I really like that in this movie. I think they do a very solid job with that in this film, and Daisy Ridley does a really great job with her performance and just making me really care for her character, and she does a really fantastic job in this film. I loved her in this movie. She did such an amazing job and gave such an incredible performance. You know, I really did enjoy her a lot in this film. Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. I love Mark Hamill in this movie. He definitely gives one of his best performances as the character, and I loved him in this movie. You know, of course, at the end of Force Awakens, he didn't say anything. He was just there, you know, to set up what was going to happen, you know, in The Last Jedi. But here he really is actually acting and giving a performance, and it's great. I really do think he gives a really fantastic performance in this movie. I really enjoyed Mark Hamill in this movie. He did such an incredible job as Luke Skywalker. I loved him. He really did do an amazing job in this movie to me. He was really, really fantastic. Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, man, Adam Driver, dude is amazing. Seriously. Kylo Ren is the best character in this saga right now. He really is. Just how complex his character is, and just the stuff that he's going through, and just everything about his character is so amazing. And Adam Driver really brings that with his performance, and really does, you know, make me, you know, even though he's a villain, obviously, makes me somewhat actually care for his character, and makes me kind of wonder, and it's great, and I really do like that a lot, and I think they do an excellent job with this character. Like, this character is definitely the best character in this new saga. Like, out of any of the new characters, he's the best one. He's the most complex one out of any of them, and he really is. And Adam Driver is so mesmerizing to watch on screen because he gives such a great performance and really makes you, you know, invested in this character of Kylo Ren. He does a fantastic job. Like, I love him in this movie. He does such an incredible job. John Boyega is great. Like, I enjoyed seeing him as Finn again. He was great. Oscar Isaac was fantastic too. I really enjoyed him as well, seeing him as Poe. Doing a lot more in this one, you know, than in Force Awakens. So it was great to see him do a lot more in this one. So he was great. I really enjoyed him. Andy Serkis as Snoke. Great performance. He, you know, Andy Serkis is the man. Seriously, this guy is an incredible actor, and shows in this movie that he is, without question, so phenomenal. And I loved his performance as Snoke. I thought he was intimidating, and he was a presence. He really was. I liked that a lot. Like, he was a presence in this movie, and he was fantastic. I thought he did a really fantastic job as well. Kelly Marie Tran, she's a new addition to this movie. She plays Rose, and I enjoyed her too. She was good. I enjoyed her character as well. You know, she was pretty enjoyable as well. I thought she did a good job. And then, of course, Carrie Fisher as General Leia. She was great. I loved her in the movie. She really was very good. And really, just overall, the acting. I thought everyone did a phenomenal job in this movie. The acting is fantastic. Everyone gives a great performance in this movie. The action is amazing. It seriously is. Some of the best action we have seen in a Star Wars movie. You know what, heck, I'm gonna go this far. Maybe it's the best action we've seen in a Star Wars movie yet. Seriously, the action sequences in here are fantastic. Of course, I don't want to give spoilers. I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but just some of the action set pieces in this movie are incredible. I love the action set pieces in this movie. They are so great, and they're so well filmed, so well shot. It's amazing. Like, it was glorious to watch, honestly. I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is why I love Star Wars, man. This is one of the many reasons why I love Star Wars. It was great. Like, I really love the action sequences with this movie. They were really fantastic. And the comedy works, too. Even though this movie is really dark, there are comedic moments to it, mostly involving Chewbacca and the Porgs, and it's great. Like, I love it. I thought that was great interaction, was with Chewbacca and the Porgs. That was fantastic. I loved it. Every time they were interacting with each other, I was bursting out in laughter. It was great. So yeah, they do have comedy in this movie at points, and it's actually really good. I really liked it a lot. And like I said before, this movie is much more dark and much more intense, I guess you could say, than The Force Awakens. Not saying The Force Awakens didn't have its intense moments, because it indeed did. But this one, literally my palms were sweating because of how intense this movie got at points for me. And that's a good sign. Like, you're making me really invested in this movie, and I really like that. Like, I love the direction that they went with this film. I know it's turning off some people, but I love the direction that they went with this film. It was great, you know. Like with The Force Awakens, it was nice to get the fun energetic Star Wars. You know, that was great. And that's what worked for that movie. Well, I think what works for this movie is that they knew that, like, people, alright, people are back into this franchise again. Maybe we could try and do something a little bit different. And they did, and it works. I thought the payoff was great. I really do think the risks that they do take in this movie are great. I really like them a lot. And I was like, that is ballsy, and I like it. I think they did an excellent job of that. And it wasn't like, to me, oh, risk for the sake of a risk. I thought it actually worked. And it worked for the story, and it worked for what was going along in this movie. And it's great. I love it. It's fantastic. Like, seriously, I love the direction that they take with this movie. Like, seriously, the direction that they take with this film is so fantastic. I love the direction that they do take with The Last Jedi. It really was something different, and something we've never really seen in a Star Wars movie before. And it was great. I thought they pulled it off well. Like, it didn't feel forced to me. It didn't feel like, oh, we just need to take risks now for the sake of risks. No, it actually worked for the story, and it worked for this movie, honestly. I really do think the direction that they went with in this movie is great. I loved it a lot. It's probably my favorite element of this entire film. I love the direction that they took with this movie. It is fantastic, and it is great. I really love the direction that they do take with this movie, and all the risks definitely paid off for me, at least. You know, I really do think some, of course, don't want to say spoilers, but I will say there are some things that they do build in this movie with, like, kind of like, with some bonding, some relationships, some stuff like that. There's some things that they do build in this movie, and there's one involving two characters. That's all I'm gonna say, and I think they did a really great job with that, and it made me really invested. I really like how they use that in the movie, and really how they built that relationship with those two characters. And it was great. Like, I really loved that a lot about this movie, and it was great. Like, I really was engaged by it, and I like the much more quieter moments. Honestly, the much more quieter moments are somehow even better than the big action set pieces, even though I love those as well. But the much more quieter, kind of like just talking, and much more great character moments, I think, are the best thing, honestly. I love that. Like, the much more quieter kind of character moments, or what I think are really the, like, that in the direction with this movie, are really the best thing about this film. I love the much more quieter moments, and the much more just character-driven moments like that. And it's fantastic. I do really love that with this movie, and it's so amazing. It really is. Like, I love the character moments that happen in this movie, because you really feel the effect of it, because you really care about these characters, and the way that this movie is going, it really makes you really care about the character moments in this film. And that's what I really loved a lot about this moment. Even the the Finn and Rose subplot was even really good. I know some people have an issue with it, but I was even invested in that. Like, there was never a time when we would cut back from, say, like, Rey and Luke, we would cut back to that, and cut to Finn and Rose, and I was just like, oh, no, not really, because I was invested in both. I was really invested in both storylines. I actually did have a bit of fun with the Finn and Rose storyline, especially what happens in it. So, yeah, I did enjoy that, honestly. I really don't kind of get the complaint with it. So, yeah, the writing is also phenomenal with this movie. I love the writing with the film, the directing. Oh, Rian Johnson, you are the man. You are a god, sir. Like, seriously. Rian Johnson, you know, I kind of wish I really wish he was coming back to direct Episode 9, because this man knows what he is doing. Not saying J.J. Abrams didn't know, because he absolutely knew what he was doing, but Rian Johnson, I feel like, just, you know, he just did such a great job. Like, I love his directing with this movie. Just the way he directs it is so fantastic. It's so well shot, so well edited. Cinematography is gorgeous with this movie. Seriously, the directing with this film is beautiful. Really, Rian Johnson, the way he directs this movie is so great. I really love his directing with this film, and just the direction that he does take with this movie. Like I said before, he really takes this movie into a different direction, and he does a really fantastic job with that. I really appreciate that, and he did a phenomenal job, in my opinion. I really do like his direction a lot with this movie. He did a really phenomenal job directing this movie. He just so great. Like, really, I loved his directing with the film. It was so well shot, very well edited. Cinematography, like I said, is really fantastic too. So yeah, he really did an amazing job directing the film. And the visual effects look amazing. Of course, it's Star Wars. The visual effects, for the most part, always do look incredible. And I really do think the visual effects are indeed amazing here. I love the set designs. I love the atmosphere that they, of course, build with all of these movies. It's great. I love the locations and stuff like that. They're really fantastic. I really love the CGI with this movie. It really does look fantastic. The visual effects do really look incredible with this movie. I do really love the visuals a lot with The Last Jedi. And lastly, the movie does move at actually a really good pace. For a movie that's like 2 hours and 31 minutes, I believe this movie is, it moves at such a nice pace. Like, I did not feel the pacing at all during this movie. Like, I was like, this movie is actually moving at a nice pace. Like, I'm really invested in it. There was never a time I was bored. Honestly, I would have loved it if this movie was 3 hours. Like, I was just that invested in it. I did not want this movie to end. Like, I was so invested in it. Like, I was like, you know, man, this movie is so invested. Like, I don't want it to end. This movie is so great. Like, I don't want it to end. It was so fantastic. I really do think the pacing is really great with this movie. I know some people said the first act was a little bit slow, but I was really invested in the third act. Like I said, there's never a dull moment in this movie for me. Every moment was great, honestly. I was invested in every single little moment with this movie, honestly. I really did. The movie does move at a nice, natural pace. For a movie that's 2 hours and 31 minutes, it really does move at a nice, natural pace. So overall, Star Wars The Last Jedi, obviously I was satisfied. You know, even if I didn't love it, like, if I just liked it, I would have been satisfied. Because it's just, this is everything I possibly could want from a Star Wars movie, and honestly, just a movie in general. From the acting, to the action sequences, to the nice character moments, and the way that they build characters in this movie, and the direction that they take. Just, this movie is perfect in every way, and just experiencing it in the theater was honestly truly one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. Not just seeing a movie, just ever in my life, honestly. Like, seriously, experiencing this, you know, to me, seeing a movie, any movie, if it's good, bad, whatever, it's always an experience to me, because I just really take it, because I really take it as an experience, honestly. But with this, I feel like it was just much more than I just experienced a movie. I experienced something truly special, honestly. Like, I really do feel like I experienced something truly special with the Last Jedi. I really did. And somehow this was even more of a satisfying experience than The Force Awakens. I don't know how, but honestly, just watching this movie, I was just blown away. I literally left the theater speechless, and I was like, this is cinema. This is movies. This is why I love film. This is why I love Star Wars. And this is why I love doing movie reviews. This movie truly showed me that. Truly showed me why I love film and why I love doing movie reviews. Seriously, this is one of those movies. I was absolutely blown away. I can't stress it enough. I can't stress it enough how much I love this movie, and honestly now how much this movie truly means to me. It is so amazing, and this is a movie everyone needs to experience. I don't care if you're not a Star Wars fan, or you're really not that into Star Wars, you need to experience this movie. This is a movie everybody, and I mean everybody and their mother needs to experience. This is something truly special, honestly. I loved every minute of this movie. Every minute was perfect. Every single minute. A+. I'm not doing no bill. A+. Seriously. This movie's incredible. If you're gonna see one movie this year, like if you're gonna see one movie for the rest of the year, see this movie. Go out. Go see it. Seriously. The Last Jedi is phenomenal. I know some people are gonna be like, oh, there's problems with the movie. Oh, well, of course you get. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I loved it, I experienced it, and I loved it. I loved every minute of this movie. Every minute is flawless. I don't care what anybody says. I loved it. Seriously, this movie was something truly special. It was truly an experience. And that's what I love about movies. This movie showed that. This is one of those movies. Seriously. I loved The Last Jedi. It is an amazing movie. No, it is phenomenal. It is glorious. This movie is a masterpiece. Cinema at its finest. This movie shows me what is truly great about movies. This movie right here. Last Jedi gets an A+. Deserves it without question. So, if you have seen Star Wars The Last Jedi, what did you think of it? Please leave in the comments section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and may the Force be with you.